Hey Chiefs Kingdom, buckle up because this one might shake up how we look at the future of our defensive line. What if I told you that a former first-round pick is already fighting for his place on this roster? Yeah, it's getting real in Kansas City, and this latest decision might just be the wake-up call we've all been waiting for. There's a storm quietly building behind the scenes, and it's centered around a name many fans had high hopes for. A young pass rusher, once seen as a key piece for the future, is now staring down the most important offseason of his career. And trust me, what just happened could define everything moving forward. So stay with me because we're breaking this down piece by piece, what it means, why it happened, and what comes next. And I want to hear from you. Is this the right move? Or are the Chiefs giving up too early? The Kansas City Chiefs have officially declined the fifth-year option for Felix Anudike-Uzomah, and honestly, this wasn't exactly shocking. It's one of those decisions that feels tough emotionally, but makes complete sense when you look at the numbers and the production. That fifth-year option would have cost around $13.75 million guaranteed for the 2027 season. For elite edge rushers, that's actually a bargain. But here's the problem. Felix hasn't played like an elite edge rusher. Not yet. And in the NFL, especially for a team like the Kansas City Chiefs chasing championships every year, potential only takes you so far. Eventually, production has to show up on the field. Let's rewind for a second. Felix Anudike-Uzomah came into the league as a first-round pick in 2023, out of Kansas State with a ton of hype. Chiefs fans were excited. A young, explosive defensive end with upside? That's exactly what this defense needed. But fast forward 3 seasons, and the results just haven't matched the expectations. In 34 regular season games, he's managed only 2.5 sacks. That's not the kind of impact you want from a first-round edge rusher. Sure, there have been flashes, moments where you could see the talent. But flashes aren't enough in this league. Consistency is what separates good players from great ones. And just when it felt like Felix might be turning a corner, 2025 happened. A preseason hamstring injury shut him down before the season even began. And because of timing, he was placed on injured reserve before final roster cuts, meaning he couldn't return at all that year. That's brutal. Not just physically, but for his development. Year 3 is often when players make that leap, especially pass rushers. And instead of building momentum, he lost an entire season. That injury didn't just hurt him, it changed how the team evaluates him. Availability matters. And when you miss a full season during a critical development window, it raises serious questions. Now heading into this offseason, everything feels different. This isn't just another year. This is a contract year. This is prove-it time. And the pressure is higher than ever. The coaching staff has already hinted at what Felix needs to do. Defensive line coach Joe Cullen talked about consistency being the missing piece. Not talent, not effort, consistency. And that's actually encouraging, but also concerning. Because after 3 seasons, you want that consistency to already be there, or at least clearly emerging. Now here's where things get even more intense. The competition in the defensive end room is getting crowded. Really crowded. Young players are stepping up. Ashton Gillotte is entering his 2nd season. Ethan Downs and Tyreek Smith are also developing. And then there's the newest addition, a high draft pick brought in to strengthen the position. That's not even counting undrafted free agents, who are hungry, motivated, and fighting for every snap. The margin for error is basically gone. So what does this mean for Felix? It means nothing is guaranteed anymore. Not snaps. Not a roster spot long-term. Not even his future with the Kansas City Chiefs. He still has a chance, no doubt. Talent like his doesn't just disappear. But now he has to earn everything. Every rep, every opportunity, every ounce of trust. And let's be real, this is the NFL. Teams move on fast. If someone else produces, they won't hesitate to give that player more snaps. There's also a financial angle here. Even though the Chiefs declined the option, Felix still has some guaranteed money coming in 2026. So short-term, he's safe. But long-term, that's wide open. This season will decide whether he stays part of the core or becomes just another what-could-have-been story. And that's what makes this so fascinating. Because we've seen players in this exact situation flip the script. One big season can change everything. But we've also seen the opposite. Players who never quite put it together, slowly fading out of the rotation. So the question is, which path will Felix take? From a team perspective, the move makes total sense. You don't commit big money to a player who hasn't proven himself. Especially when you have younger, cheaper options pushing for playing time. But from a fan perspective, it's tough. Because we remember the excitement, the draft night energy, the belief that he could be a cornerstone piece. And now that future feels uncertain. Still, this is far from over. If anything, this is just the beginning of the most important chapter in Felix's career. Training camp is going to be huge. Preseason snaps will matter more than ever. Every play will be under the microscope. And you better believe the coaching staff will be watching closely who's producing, who's consistent, who's making an impact. Because at the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs are building for sustained success. And every roster spot has to count. So here's where I want to bring you into the conversation. Do you think Felix Anudike-Uzomah can turn things around this season? Or do you think the Chiefs made the right call and it's time to move on? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this is one of those situations where fan opinion really matters. And if you're riding with Chiefs Kingdom no matter what, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with your fellow fans. Because we've got a massive season ahead, and this storyline is just getting started. And if you think the pressure is already high, just wait until the pads come on. Because once training camp hits, everything speeds up. Every rep becomes a test. Every mistake gets magnified. And every big play can completely shift momentum. For Felix, this is where narratives are built or broken. It's no longer about what he could be. It's about what he shows right now in real time against hungry teammates fighting for the same dream. And you already know how the Kansas City Chiefs operate. They reward performance. If you show up and dominate, you play. If you don't, someone else will take your spot without hesitation. Now imagine the mindset he has to carry into this season. Doubt from the outside. Questions from the media. A front office that just declined a major financial commitment. That kind of situation can go one of two ways. It can crush a player, or it can ignite something dangerous. And honestly, this is where we find out who Felix Anudike-Uzomah really is. Let's not forget, this is still a former first-round talent. The physical tools are there. The explosiveness, the length, the ability to disrupt. It's all part of his game. But in the NFL, talent without consistency is like a car without fuel. It looks great, but it won't take you anywhere. So what does he need to do? First, stay healthy. That's non-negotiable. You can't prove anything from the sideline. Second, he has to win one-on-one matchups. Edge rushers get paid to pressure the quarterback. It's that simple. And third, maybe most important, he has to stack good days. Not just flashes. Not just one big play. Day after day, week after week. Because that's what the coaching staff is watching. That's what earns trust. Now let's flip this to the team's perspective again. The Kansas City Chiefs are quietly reloading that defensive front. You've got young, hungry players coming in. Draft picks with upside. Undrafted guys with chips on their shoulders. And established contributors who aren't giving up snaps easily. This isn't just competition. It's a full-on battle. And in battles like this, draft status doesn't matter anymore. Contracts don't matter. Reputation doesn't matter. Production is everything. So if Felix wants to secure his future with the Kansas City Chiefs, he has to outplay everyone in that room. Period. And here's the crazy part. If he does step up, this entire narrative flips instantly. Suddenly, he's not the guy who didn't live up to expectations. He's the guy who overcame adversity. The guy who proved people wrong. The guy who earned his place. That's how fast things change in this league. But if he doesn't, then we might be looking at his final season wearing red and gold. And that's the reality. No sugarcoating it. This is the NFL. It's a business. And the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the smartest organizations in the league when it comes to roster building. They're always thinking ahead. Always planning for the future. Always looking for the next impact player. So the opportunity is there, but it's not guaranteed. And that's why this storyline is one of the most intriguing heading into the season. It's not just about one player. It's about development, competition, pressure, and proving you belong at the highest level. So as we get closer to kickoff, keep your eyes on this situation. Watch how he performs in camp. Pay attention to preseason reps. Listen to what coaches are saying, because all the clues will be there. And I'll be right here breaking it all down with you, every step of the way, bringing you the latest Kansas City Chiefs updates and Noticias dos Kansas City Chiefs news as they happen. Now I've got one more question for you. If you're the coaching staff, do you give Felix a real shot to start? Or do you make him earn everything from the bottom of the depth chart? Let me know in the comments, because this debate is just heating up. And if you're loving this kind of deep dive content, don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any Kansas City Chiefs news. Share this video with your friends, your group chats, your fellow fans, because Chiefs Kingdom needs to be part of this conversation. We're heading into a huge season, and trust me, this is only the beginning.